What's up, folks, and welcome to Indie Ramble. So, I got a roguelite for you today, and boy, this one's weird, but weird in that kind of cool, endearing way. So, yes, this is Mr. Sun's Hatbox, and I mean, there's a lot to show in this, so I think we're just going to jump in and I'm going to show you this. This is a largely solo developed roguelite, and this thing mashes genres up in a way that I never thought I'd see, but it's pretty compelling and very much one of those just one more run games. So the story of this is ridiculous, and that's by design. You work for a delivery service that is supposed to be delivering a package, a hat-related package, to Mr. Sun for his Hatbox, and you get jacked, basically, and people take the Hatbox away. And you're like, sir, we believe in great customer service, you know, which is a hilarious irony in and of itself, because, I mean, a courier company with customer service standards, give me a break. But your goal is to try to get that back. And you do this by building an entire spy operation under his store. And you have to expand this out XCOM style. A lot of you XCOM fans are probably going to recognize this type of interface a little bit. You have to capture prisoners, which you can brainwash and turn into other operatives for you. You have to organize your staff. All of your different characters or people that you can play as can be leveled up. They all have different perks and faults. You can pilfer just about anything in the world that you can use as weapons or defense items, which you can see here. You can transport basically anything back to your base with like a giant balloon, like in Metal Gear Solid 5. It's ridiculous, and your goal is to eventually get back the main package, but you'll get other hats along the way, which, as you do these, will unlock different types of upgrades and capabilities for your bases. And the way it works is every time you go into the mission screen, you have 3 different options here that you can choose from. 2 are non-story based missions and 1 is a story based mission. And the side missions here are just they're things you do to grind out things for your base. So more money, more weapons, more hats, more other things like that, just to get more stuff, more agents, you know, things like that. And the missions vary a lot. Some of them are going to be like this one, where it zooms in really far and your goal is to destroy everyone on the map in multiple waves. Or there's other missions where you have to retrieve something, like steal something and get it out of the base. There are missions where you have to kill a guy. There's all of these other different objectives that you'll get, and each of these comes with its own rewards and its own challenges. And you have to do this in the context of the fact that all of your operatives have faults. Some of them are squeamish, so they get freaked out by having to hurt people. Some of them are clumsy. Some of them, there's a whole ton of different traits and faults that these different agents will have. And as you complete these missions, you get different rewards for them. And then eventually what happens is, as you go through the story-based missions, once you do a certain number of them, you unlock what's called the Hat Heist. And that will give you at the end of the hat heist, you do a much more complicated mission, and you get the next hat in order to progress the story from that. Like I said, this thing is ridiculous, but in a fantastic way. And where this thing really shines is, I mean, it is a roguelite, so it is very challenging in spots. When I did the first couple of hats, I was like, I don't know, man, this seems pretty easy. Yeah, no, in this third area, I mean, you've already seen here, I've been getting my clock cleaned, and that's because the game has really amped up the challenge, like, significantly. And, well, you're also seeing here a couple of things you can do. So what you can do is you jump on an enemy Mario style, and when you do that, you can knock them out. unless they have a hat on their head. There's a million different hats in this game, all of which have different traits and abilities. Some are better at defense than others. Some give you special abilities. And some of them are just plain ridiculous. So if you can get the hat off of somebody like that, you can knock them out. And when you knock them out, you can either put a balloon on them and capture them, or you can just slit their throat. Yeah, don't let the cutesy art style of this game fool you. This game is vicious in spots. And if you kill them, they drop money. But if you capture them, they go to your base and you can use them for other things later. You also see there's a ton of different guns in the game, and these range all the way from guns that just shoot basically plungers that do no damage but stun enemies, all the way up to full-on shotguns and boomerangs and laser cannons, and it's ridiculous. So here's my objective, is to rescue this dude. So we got him, and we're gonna send him back to base. So when you have to rescue somebody, you can either pick them up and carry them out of the level. You can carry enemies as well if you want. So let's see. So let's ditch this, and we'll just kill that guy. Yeah, he just slit his throat. These guys, despite how cute they are, they're stone cold, man. Stone cold. And then when you leave the level, you get your loot and objectives. Now, here's what's interesting about this. If you leave a level, or if you die in a level, I should say, any loot that you have obtained in that level, anything you captured, anything you picked up, you keep it. In most roguelites, that's not how it works. In most roguelites, you lose a run and you're done. So in this, you will keep anything that you have already obtained, which I thought was quite interesting. And that makes things a little bit different, because even in failure, you get to advance a little bit. You also saw there, every run of a level that you do counts as a day in the game, and the days progress whether you succeed or fail. And the days are when different things in your base advance. So, for example, when you bring in new prisoners, you have to brainwash them to convert them to your side. That takes, as you can see here, 6 days and 4 days. There's a med bay. If you have an operative that survives a mission but is hurt a little bit, you can either take them into future missions hurt if you want, but they won't heal until they spend some time in the hospital. So that takes time and money as well. You also have, this is your whole list of staff. You can see I have a couple of operatives that are higher level. You can assign these people to your laboratory as well to help research things. You can do this very much by hand if you want, and you can also see all these different traits and faults that they have. The game will also auto-optimize this for you if you want. So you can just press the X button in this menu and it'll optimize your staff the best way possible, which is nice if you don't feel like if you don't want to spend a lot of time in here, that's nice. And then there's research. So as you can see, there are a ton of different things that you can research. Anything here in yellow, it has been done. Anything in white has not. Everything has a prerequisite that you need to spend. So some of them just need money. Some of them need money and objects that you found throughout the world. Like here, I need 3 of these mirror power-ups and 250 gold. I actually have that. So, oh, wait, no, I need a research level of 8 and a support level of 10. Okay, so I don't have enough of the actual levels to research that. But this just unlocks more things that become available to you in the world when you do that. And anything that you have in storage here can be used towards those objectives, or you can take it with you. So when you go into a mission like this, that last mission I did was an emergency mission, so sometimes an emergency thing will come up, or it'll be like a staff member's been kidnapped and you have to do that mission, but you don't have to do that very often. So you can pick your mission here, and then you pick your staff member that you want to go out. It's good to have a roster of people who are leveled up, so you don't always just want to pick the highest level available character. You want to often go into a lot of side missions with some lower level characters so that you can have a fleet of leveled up guys, because if you only focus on one character and then you lose that character, well, future missions will be harder because you'll be doing it with lower level people, right? And then when you go into the different mission, you can so of course, normally you would pick a hat and a gun. This mission requires that I go into it with no equipment, so I can't do that. But normally in here you can choose your gun and your hat and choose the traits and abilities that you think are going to work best for you. You can play the game in co-op as well, which is really nice. Local only, but up to 4 players. That's really cool. Really nice to see that there. So in this mission, I have to capture 2 shields. Now, it will do this little thing too, which is handy, which is that it will show you on what floor those are. So it says, capture 2 shields, there are 0 on this floor. So depending how much risk you want to take, I could go around this entire floor and look for loot, additional loot if I want it. If I don't want it, then I can just sort of skip through this quickly, get to the door, which takes me to floor 2 of 2. And as you can see, it says there's 2 shields on this floor, so I gotta find them. If I didn't, I actually have bought some upgrades, so I have a lot of balloons. Oh, see, that guy has a metal helmet, so he's harder to knock out. Those guys, not so much. Yeah, I'm ruthless. Ow. Oh, that's a bounce pad thing. Okay, let's send that up. So you can capture, you can only hold one item at a time, and this is where things can get really tricky, because if you have to carry something around, you can't carry a weapon at the same time. You can only have one or the other, and that can make things really interesting. Now, in this case, because I have a bunch of balloons left, I can just find the shields that I need, attach a balloon to them, send them out, and then peace out of here. So I can do that if I want. That guy is hardcore. That sword is delightful. Oh, and we got it. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Your stuff is mine. You can also throw anything that you're currently holding, whether it be a weapon or other enemies if you want. It really, I think this game's single greatest strength is the flexibility it gives you. You can do so much in this. You can approach situations in a number of different ways. You can go stealthy. You can try to avoid enemies if you want. Or you can go in guns or swords blazing if you want. You can literally, have enemies fight each other. You can literally use an enemy to kill another enemy by throwing their corpse at them if you want. You can do all of these different things. And this game has like Zelda Breath of the Wild level weapon durability. So you have got to be prepared to switch weapons a lot. Every weapon, every gun has a very low amount of ammo to it. And as you saw, even with that big ass sword that I picked up, weapons don't take many hits before they're gone, especially if you're fighting against an armored enemy. So you can see the day moved ahead. So the banker bridges got healed and the brainwashing has notched ahead a little bit. So that's always good. So yeah, this is where we can level up things. So we'll level up the expansion capacity as well. You can see here's the build menu. I haven't actually built out every building yet, but some of them I also haven't actually unlocked yet. So that's a thing you'll have to be cognizant of as well. And yeah, you do the missions. None of them take more than a few minutes. I think that's a really good trait about it, is that the missions are very, very quick. So this is a game you can play in short spurts if you want. And here we go. So you see, here's where you can pick the hat. And you can see, this is what's nuts about this. There's like a million different kinds of hats in here and a million different kind of weapons. The developer has created each one of these out. He's actually, they've put traits and abilities on every one of these. All of these are unique. Some of them are basically useless in terms of their function, but they're hilarious. And others are extremely useful to certain play styles. Just the detail in this is amazing. This is a game that obviously doesn't take itself seriously, not even a little bit. The story's ridiculous. It borrows mechanics from other games like Metal Gear Solid 5 and uses them in an utterly irreverent and ridiculous way. Oh, that camera saw me. It uses it in ridiculous ways that are just ludicrous, but just make you smile because you're just like, ha, that's so goofy. And did I just get eaten by a frog? I just got eaten by a frog. Screw you, frog. What'd I do to you? Listen here. See what I mean? There's frogs that can eat you and, smack you across the map with their tongues, because why the hell not? Everything about this game is irreverent and ridiculous and hilarious, but it's a really friggin' challenging roguelite too. And the way in which you level up and progress is really what makes this so cool and different. And that's what I like about it. This doesn't really, and it's a game, you know, roguelites that punish you for at the end of each run by saying, yo, you got to at least get a certain point in this run if you want to get any gear. I get that. I play a lot of games like that. I like a lot of games like that. But this one isn't that mean. This game gets very hard later on. It's already being quite challenging for me, but it still, you can still get something even out of failure. And that's what I really like about it. You know, the fact that you can... All right, I got to just cut them because I'm out of balloons. Oh, but I picked up more balloons there, so... Oh, well. You know, this game... You don't want to fail in it, but if you do, you're still going to get something out of it. It doesn't make you feel like your entire run was a waste. And I think that's really cool. And yeah, the art style, you know, it's this lo-fi pixel art style that looks pretty good. I don't think I can jump on that guy. I don't know what hat he's got, but that looks like fire on the top. So yeah, I'd like to try that out, but I don't know. And you see, there's the risk reward, right? That's what's great about roguelikes. Is that risk reward type thing. See, I just picked up a weapon that's half a dozen eggs. Sure. I mean, why not, right? I bet you could hurt a fool with that. You know, what is it they say? You know, anything's a weapon if you know what you're doing. Something like that. So yeah, see, it doesn't... The half a dozen eggs, it doesn't actually kill a guy, but it will knock him down. You know, and you have to learn, and the game really makes you think because you have to adjust on the fly. You have to be willing to, throw weapons away. You can't get, it doesn't give you time to get attached to anything. You can't get attached to any particular weapons. You can't get attached to certain builds. You can't even get attached to certain characters because you can spend a lot of time leveling up a character. You are going to lose them at some point. There's just no two ways around that. That's just how it's going to happen. Now you see I'm out of balloons, so I want to get this file out of here. Well, I can't take any of those things with me. That's the way it is. But I got all that. Plus that. I got 2 level 5 dudes for that. So that's pretty awesome, right? And you're seeing where you get the just one more run thing out of this, because the levels are all so small. If you lose, it's not nearly the end of the world. If you... Oh, we got tons of people now. We gotta brainwash. You know, if you lose, it's not the end of the world. And it's... You have a smile on your face all the time, because even when you die in this, you usually die in, like, hilariously stupid ways. And you're just like, what is this? You know, and you just laugh at it. And that's what's really great about it. I'm really enjoying this. It's irreverent and weird and strange but really, really deep. That's the strange part. The mechanics in this, there's a lot to this. There's a lot of systems working here. Wow, that was an easy one. There's a lot of different systems at work here. There's a lot of different... you know, the weapons and the different hats in this, there's a ton of them, and they all work differently, and they're all handcrafted. You know, handcrafted artisanal mirror hats. You know what I'm saying? And there's... all of this stuff comes together in a really cool way. It's really hard to make stuff with this many different bespoke elements that doesn't just collapse under its own weight. A lot of games try it and don't succeed at it. This one nails it, I think. You know, it's been getting updated regularly since it came out, but it's very new. And, you know, when it was brand new, it played fantastically. And, you know, it's so well put together, and it's so detailed, and just, you can tell this was just put together with love and care. And I am always amazed when I see titles of this caliber that are done by largely one dev. And I don't know if this is entirely one dev, but it's pretty crazy. And yeah, this is the Metal Gear Solid style box, so I believe if I'm standing in front of the dude like this... Okay, I thought they couldn't see me in it. Maybe I have to do something else with it first. Okay, well, that's fine. There we go. I am a cardboard box with an axe. Come at me. You know, and... yeah, I've just been having lots of fun with this. You know, this game has cloud save, so this will obviously play like grease butter on a Steam Deck. I've been playing this between my laptop and my desktop. You know, I've been swapping back and forth, and it's lo-fi, so it'll probably run on a potato. So you could play this on all Matter machines, even if you don't have a particularly high-end one at your disposal. Ooh, this guy gained a quirk. Moves twice as fast. That's a good quirk. And it's a roguelike that is familiar in some ways, but also not in... It's very familiar in some ways, but in other ways, it's very different. And it's very much has its own ideas and its own soul. But, you know, if you like roguelikes as well, this is going to... very much scratch that itch, but in a different way. And you're doing all this because you're a courier service that got jacked and lost some guy's box of hats. I mean, how much more delightfully ridiculous do you want, right? I've been having a ton of fun with this, and there's more to explain in this than I thought. You know, this video is a little longer than some of my other ones, but it's just simply because what's in this game is something you can't really explain super well, or super quickly, I should say. But that's not something to fault it for. I think that's a great strength of it, and I've been having a blast with this, and I'm going to play it a lot more. Will I finish it? I mean, roguelikes are the one genre where even if I really like one, I often won't finish it. I think I might with this one, though, depending on how much harder it gets later on. I might do that, but I've been enjoying it, and I think roguelike fans should really take a hard look at this one, and I would not give this one a pass. I think it's a lot of good dumb fun. So yeah, that is Mr. Sun's Hatbox. It is out now. As I said, I'm having a great time with it. Roguelike fans should definitely give it a look, and even if you're not, this might have enough irreverency, and you know, the personality of this might sell you on it, even if it has a gameplay and mechanical style that you're not super familiar with necessarily. I can definitely say that. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, please do all the normal YouTube things. That does really help the channel out. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, what do you think about this? Is this enough? Is this different enough from other, you know, if you're roguelited out, is this different enough from some of those other ones to make you want to give it a try? You know, what are some other roguelikes that you like? God knows there are a dime a dozen these days, and I've covered a lot of ones that I like on this channel, but I always want to hear more of those. And as always, you can follow me over at twitch.tv/pxabstraction for multiple variety streams a week. I cover other indie games over there, as well as retro stuff, including a bunch of things that are better suited to streaming than YouTube. We have a fantastic community there, and I would love to see you be a part of it. Thanks again, all, and I'll see you on the next Indie Ramble. You folks have yourselves a good one. Take her easy.